Hello, I'm Martin from F-Stop Training and welcome to my overview of the new Adobe Photoshop CC updates. This update came out in the last day of November 2015, but a lot of CC subscribers, including myself, wouldn't have noticed about this update until the first few days of December 2015. If you've been using Photoshop for a long time, you're probably going to notice a big difference in the styling. This update was codenamed Spectrum by Adobe, and I have no doubt this is a term that will become common on many of the forums because of the radical difference to the interface. These interface changes are more than simply cosmetic. There are also many functional differences, and this is why I'm putting together a set of videos to walk you through some of these November 2015 updates. In this first video, we will look at the new start screen. We will look at customizing this new start screen, and we will look at how we can use it to easily open files. So let's get started by taking a look at new styling and the all new start screen, which appears when you launch Adobe Photoshop, and it also appears when you do not have any images open. For those of you who are used to Photoshop, the first thing you will notice is the lack of panels and toolbars. Now what we see is a list of recently opened files. This list can be viewed either as a text list or it can be viewed as a thumbnail list. However, the thumbnail list will only work if you have had a file opened previously in this new update to Photoshop. That's why you're seeing placeholders for some of my recently opened files. These recently opened files were opened in the previous version of Photoshop. Over on the left hand side of the screen there is the word Presets, which when you click on it will display a list of predefined document sizes that will allow you to create a new document with those settings. If none of the presets suits your needs, you can select the Custom Documents option at the bottom of this list. This will bring up the New Document dialog box. You can see that this dialog box now has the new dark appearance of the Spectrum update. I think this new dark appearance is more in line with other screens that we see in Adobe applications. It also has a new modern flat design. Cancelling that will take us back to the start screen, and I'm going to select an image to open. The image opens up in the familiar Photoshop screen where we have all the usual dialog panels and toolbars. From here I can show you how to activate some new preferences. At the moment, when I go to File menu and select Open, I get the old Open dialog box, but there's a new way of doing this with this new update. Let me show you a couple of settings in the Preferences panel. I'm on a PC here, so for me the Preferences panel is located under the Edit menu, but if you're on a Mac it is located under the Photoshop menu. I'll click on Preferences and select General from the flyout. Notice the option here, Show Start Workspace when no documents are open. If you don't like the new workspace, this is where you can turn it off. Just beneath this checkbox we have another new one, Show Recent Files Workspace when opening a file, and I want to turn this one on. Just below this we see a warning that tells us workspace changes will take effect the next time Photoshop starts. So in order to have this change take effect, I'm going to quit Photoshop and open it back up. So I'll click on OK, then I'll go to File menu, I'll select Exit, which would be quit on a Mac. This takes me to Bridge, which I had running in the background. So I'm going to double click on the same image to launch it back into Photoshop. Now it opens the image, but again all my toolbars and dialog boxes are missing. Not a problem. Simply go to the Workspace option and select an appropriate workspace. In this case, because this is a photograph, I'm going to select a Photography workspace, and that brings up the familiar toolbox and panels. So now that I have a file open, I'm going to go to File, Open, or you can use the shortcut key of Ctrl-O on a PC or Command-O on a Mac, and this time I get the new Recent Files panel on the right hand side of the screen. Again, you have the option of viewing the recently opened files as a list or as a thumbnail view. Now you can quickly open any recent file by clicking once on that file, or you can click on the Open button if you want to open any file from your computer. If you change your mind, simply click on the Workspace options and select Photography again, or you can simply press the Escape key and that will return you to where you were. So this is my introduction to the new Start screen in the Adobe Photoshop November 2015 update. Please visit our site at fstoptraining.com and subscribe to our newsletter and let us know your thoughts.